Once in a little village, people can be seen as busy as a bee. They work so much to earn money for a living, be it a business or a work by its profession. Married couples hardly had times for each other due to their own works and errands. Most of the times, families don't talk much anymore. Kids were already asleep by the time parents came home. The so-called family time had been neglected. Young adults were so much in love, exchanging kisses, hugs, and promises for their beloved, paying a visit to the ladies' home or going out to watch movies or strolling in the park. Teenagers did what their hearts can make them happy, engrossed with gadgets, books, staying up with their friends to have a little chit-chat, at home, helping with their parents, or whatever they are up to. Children were at school to learn new concepts, skills, and good behavior. Older people, on the other hand, are just doing chores, those who can. Others are just at home, patiently waiting for their children to come home so they can have a good conversation. Parks, malls, movie houses, restaurants, hotels, and bars are crowded. Expression of happiness mark their faces. Streets were full of buses, jeepneys, and cars, to the point of being stopped due to the heavy traffic. Travel agencies were so famous for people who loved to travel. Tourists from different countries visited their loved and wished places. That is why airports are overwhelmed with people from all walks of life. Entertainment industries, be it music, dance, arts, and many more, are still full of people who in one way or another laugh to their hearts out. Barber shops and salons were also filled with people who wanted to look good and smart. Flower shops, wedding planners, and church decorators were swarmed with different clients. Churches are fully booked of varied celebrations. Weddings, baptism, Holy Communion, Sundays masses, and funeral masses. Hospitals cater patients who are feeling sick and in critical conditions. Doctors, nurses, and staffs get used to these scenarios. Nothing new. Not until something changed the people and the whole world. An enemy came with an attack no one could fathom. Once a busy world of people in different places now became desolate, forlorn, and deserted. News crept each family's television that COVID-19 was already a pandemic, an unseen deadly virus that were lurking somebody's body. So everyone was advised by the governments with only this notable instruction: all must stay at home or else you will get this virus and succumb to death. Did you know that during this time, the rich middle class poor families, industrialized third world countries were aghast? Indeed, nobody has prepared, and that nobody is immune and exempted to this kind of virus. Even the prominent, highly specialized doctors cannot beat this invisible enemy. Businesses, offices, schools, parks, malls, movie houses, restaurants, hotels, bars, travel agencies, tourist destinations, airlines, flower shops, salon, barber shop. These were all closed. Public transportation, offices, churches, these were also stopped. Only health centers, hospitals, markets, pharmacies, private vehicle, food delivery, funeral homes, banks, supermarkets remained open. Well, what's remained is that wearing of face masks, social distancing, washing of hands using soap, and applying alcohol, hand sanitizers, and staying at home. Were a must during this time. The heart-wrenching thing that happened during this pandemic was many who died and buried alone without their families. Many families were left by their loved ones without proper advice from them. It ached that viruses continue to keep on rising, giving fears to millions and millions of people around the world, not knowing when will this virus have to go and end. Questions kept boggling one's mind. Am I going to survive and be alive by the time this pandemic ends? But with all these negativities come positive things on the other way around. In the eyes of a kid, a teenager, an adult, a married couple, an older person, a long distance relationship family, a family with no time for each other before, a believer who almost lost faith, these things happened for a greater reason. A kid once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because I am happy of this situation, but because I once longed for the love and care and attention of my parents for quite a time. But ye have answered my prayer. It may not be perfect, but it is real." A teenager once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because I am happy of this situation, but because I now have enough time to discover myself, my capabilities, my strengths and weaknesses, and skills. With my parents around to guide and supervise me what is a yes and what is a no." A young adult once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because I am happy of this situation, but because I can now test the patience and loyalty of my beloved with the golden idea of my parents to hear on." An adult once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because I am happy of the situation, but because I have now enough time to take a rest without running after the time at the office or at the workplace." Then an older parents once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because we are happy of the situation, but because our kids can now share us any stories at work. Funny, happy stories they had personal experience when they were not with me, with us. We missed our little kids before, who are now an adult and have their own choices in lives. Thanks for our granddaughters, grandsons, who were playing around and seeing them happy." Then a busy family once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because we are happy of this situation, but because time like this had given us more time for each other, playing, chatting, eating, planting, discovering new skills, cooking and sleeping together, happy in spite of fears." Then in online sellers, food delivery drivers once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because we are happy of the situation, but because you give us work to sustain our daily needs and be able to extend at most services during this trying time." Then the broke, hungry, and homeless once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because we are happy of this situation, but because instead of staying outside, the government provided us shelter, food, and money." The community said, "Thanks, Lord, not because we are happy of this situation, but because we were very grateful of your sent instruments, the frontliners, who will have to double their services to stay awake just to make this world a better place again for all of us." Lastly, the believers once said, "Thanks, Lord, not because we are happy of this situation, but because you strengthened our dying faith, almost forgetting you, that you are the most powerful being and that we knew you can make this pandemic soon pass and bring a new face of the world."